Welcome back to the show with no name. Finally back on the air after several weeks hiatus, mostly because my partner here was busy. What have you been up to, Gavin?
Been out of the country.
Out of the country? Guess where did you go?
We went to Scotland.
Scotland? That accounts for Scotland the Brave, which we heard a moment ago.
Yes, it does. Yes,
All right.
does.
And we have here the official piper of the official pipe band of the show with no name, Misha Murdoch. Misha, I want you to know I was following your activities very closely on the internet, and let me tell you, when your band came through as #1 in the world, nobody was prouder than me, not even your father. So, I mean, we don't have too many official anythings with the show with no name, but to have a world champion Scotia-Glenville pipe band, the official pipe band of the show with no name, come in #1 in the world.
Yeah.
That must have been exciting, huh?
Yeah, it was very exciting.
I was surprised that, I mean, you were there like a whole week before the competition, right?
Yeah.
Geez, I would think it'd be better to get it over with and then have fun. How you gonna? What did you do in the week before? Just got nervous or what?
We arrived on August 2nd, and then we practiced, and then on Saturday we had a competition at North Barrack. And then we came in first in novice juvenile, and that's the grade that we competed in at the Worlds in juvenile.
Yeah.
Then we came in 4th. That was surprising because juvenile bands are the kids who are a bit older and better.
Well, obviously not better. Older maybe.
Yeah.
Bigger maybe.
Yeah. But that's quite fun.
Wow. So this first thing you were at when you first got there, where was that?
North Barrack.
Which is in what part of Scotland?
It's in the eastern part of Scotland, over on towards the English Channel, North Sea. It's over on it's east of Edinburgh.
East of Edinburgh.
East of
Is it
Edinburgh.
on the Firth of Forth?
Firth of Forth. Yes.
All right.
Firth of Forth.
All right.
Yes, yes. And what was interesting is that it was misty the entire day. You could not see the mountains around us.
As we were saying before the coffee arrived, we were talking about the Firth of Forth and was it a competition, the first thing you did?
Yeah, a competition.
And was this like, was it like the same band you were competing against later, or different bands?
About the same.
Yeah?
They had some of each. Then our biggest competition was there for the world title. They were there. You beat them.
So who cares?
You beat them the first time?
Yeah.
And the second time.
And the second time, you beat them on pipes and lost on drums.
Yeah.
But overall,
we had the highest score because our pipes were all ones, and they had a 3 on one of their sections of pipe.
A 3 and a 6, I think.
Yeah. So they got knocked down, and that was it. So it's interesting to go to Scotland and beat them at their own game.
So it was a Scottish band?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And where were they from?
George Watson College.
Which is in Edinburgh. Beat them on their home turf.
So did you get a chance to see Edinburgh while you were there?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Isn't that a great city?
Yeah.
We were there in February a few years ago, like 2000 or something like that. And I mean, it was a little cold in February, being that far north. But what a beautiful city! Both the old city and the new city. We took the bus tour. So we sat outdoors actually, going around on the bus.
You were on top of one of the.
Oh, and we went up to the castle, and you know, we had just been to the Tower of London a couple of days earlier, and I thought the Edinburgh Castle was far and away superior in every way as a tourist attraction, as the way it was set up. They had the nice history tableaus that you walk through, and of course they had the Stone of Scone.
Yeah.
The legendary Stone of Scone was there.
And the crown jewels were
And the
there.
crown jewels were very accessible.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
They have their National War memorials there for World War I with all the books and the names of.
St. Margaret's Chapel.
Yeah, that's small.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
Well, you know.
She wasn't that big a person.
No, I guess not. She was, what was she, the grandmother of James I or something like that?
Yeah. They got a funny tree over there.
I forget.
They got a funny tree. But,
well, of course, that Macbeth era, they were just dropping like flies.
Yeah. When we had a chance to walk the Royal Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ate on the Royal Mile.
Mhm.
That was a good meal.
Yeah.
And they have a George Street in downtown Edinburgh, which you know, I found 14 George Street. Well, it wasn't numbered 14, but it was between 16 and 12, so I figured that's what it was.
Yeah.
But you know, that I was so astonished when you see it close up. The 18th and 19th century Renaissance in Edinburgh was just fantastic. The literature and the science and Adam Smith, and
Economics, literature.
Unbelievable. Walter Scott and
How the Scots invented the modern
Arthur Conan
world.
Doyle and
Yeah.
Robert Louis Stevenson.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was while you were, I forget. We haven't seen each other in a while. But we had gone up to Saranac Lake for a week, and then went back up for the Lake Placid Ironman competition.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't seen you.
And you know, everybody tries to get tourists to come to their places, and almost anything will do. You know. And I picked up a pamphlet for the Robert Louis Stevenson house in Saranac
Really?
Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Saranac Lake Village. And I'm thinking, what the heck did Robert Louis Stevenson have? Well, of course, Robert Louis Stevenson had health problems all his life. He had lung problems.
Yeah.
So he spent a winter in Saranac Lake, hoping to cure him of his, I don't know whether he had TB or was just some other kind of lung disease, but that's where he was. So anyway, I'm reading the pamphlet. Now, mind you, I don't think he spent more than 6 months in this house, ever, in his life.
Mm-hmm.
But they've maintained it as a shrine to Robert Louis Stevenson. And here he wrote, and then they list 2 or 3 things that you never heard of. But we're not talking Treasure Island or Kidnapped or anything, or Child's Garden of Verses. We're just talking about stuff you never heard of. Okay, and this is where he planned his trip to the South Sea Islands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a little obscure. And still, you can still see in this cottage the cigarette burns he left on the mantle when he left his cigarette burning. Now, mind you, he's got lung disease, and now come on. How do they know it was Robert Louis Stevenson's cigarette burns over there? Probably because they evicted him for ruining the place.
Well, you know, back then though, most of what they were smoking were pipes. Anyhow,
Yeah.
it wasn't cigarettes, so that might be a stretch that they're actually his cigarette burns.
Well, that's what I thought so. And I'm thinking, this is really ridiculous. And then I had a second thought, and I remembered going to Edinburgh, and I remembered what a thrill I had when the lady pointed out the house where Robert Louis Stevenson grew up, overlooking the park.
Yeah.
And he was too sickly to go out and play with the other kids, so he would sit in his bed and look out the window and see the kids playing with boats on the pond and dream of Treasure Island and things like that. And I remember thinking at the time, this is really wonderful that we honor our authors like that. You know, and then I began to think, well, you know, even if what he wrote was obscure, the fact that the people of Saranac Lake still to this day say Robert Louis Stevenson was among us, and that's important to them, I think that's wonderful. I really do. I didn't pay the admission price to see his cigarette burns, but I do think that's a wonderful thing. It really is.
It's another example of you have to remember your past and where you came from to figure out where you are today.
And that's right. Our hope in the future.
Yeah. We had while we were there, we had a chance to visit our cousin who lives
Did you?
outside of Glasgow.
Yeah, and then he invited us to look over his soccer team because he's a senior scout for the soccer team Motherwell. So that was quite fun. We got to look at the pitch. It was artificial.
No, it wasn't artificial.
Huh?
It was real. It just looked, it was so thick. That was a real pitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said it was fake.
No. They're out there. Their practice fields are.
Oh.
The practice fields are artificial, but the real one is the real one.
Yeah, real one. Yeah. Yeah.
Was this where your ancestors learned to play soccer, or was it somewhere else?
Nah, I think they learned from anybody but then.
Yeah, the relatives live about 3 miles away from the stadium. They lived in Stonehouse. And Ian took us up the show where my grandfather grew up and where he used to live when I visited him in high school. And we went to the soccer stadium. We got to meet the coach and everything and get some pictures taken. And we told him at the time, I said, the only thing better than this would be if we won the Worlds.
And we're here.
Now, seriously, honestly, Misha, going into it, were you expecting to come out as the winners against the best pipe bands in the world?
I didn't know.
And there you are.
Where do you think you'd come in?
Second or third.
Now, your division, there was what, about 27 in competing with
28.
you? 28?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should mention that I invited Morgan and Reed Perry to be here with us this morning as well, but they were not able to come because of some kind of they had to go to the dentist or something like that. So if they get done early enough, they might drop by.
Yeah.
With their drums, I hope.
Yeah, it was all together in the competition that day. There was 335 bands from around the world.
335.
New Zealand, Australia,
Canada, Germany, Bulgaria.
Well, that must have taken the whole freaking day, huh?
it did. It started. They started at 9 and they were all done at 5:35.
I see, like the Olympics, you had elimination rounds.
Yep.
And what was the Albany band was eliminated? They were there?
Yeah. The Oranmore pipe band got knocked out in the morning session. They didn't get a chance to compete in the finals in the afternoon this time.
And I believe your chief competition, they were in the other elimination division, or were they in yours?
Ours.
Oh, they were in yours. So
Yeah.
they finished second to you twice
Yes,
in the
they
same
did.
day.
And
Now, do they throw out the first scores when they do the
Yeah.
finals? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And we beat them by the same score in the morning as we did in the afternoon.
Right.
1-1, 2-2.
Yeah.
We beat them, so it was pretty exciting. But you do not know your qualifying score until everything's all over.
Oh, okay. So you don't even know where you were. You
No.
only knew you qualified.
Right. We didn't know if we'd finished 1 through 6 or who beat us or anything else. We just knew we got out of that, and then they put us in. But we had the toughest flight in the morning.
Well, I guess you did.
We had the bigger, tougher band.
We had Oban, RMM, who else? George Watson.
Boys Brigade.
Yeah.
They were in there.
How many countries?
I think they said there were 17 countries.
Wow.
Some countries only had one band. The United States there, we were there. Oranmore was there, different grade. There was a band from St. Thomas from Texas.
And that's all.
Was Los Angeles there?
No, and the New York Metro wasn't.
No. So there's only three bands in the United States here this time, and we were all in different grades. So we didn't go up against them. We went up against the Canadians and the Scots.
Wow.
And Ireland.
And the Irish, yeah.
And the Boys Brigade.
The Irish band actually won the grade 1, the top flight. Again, Field Marshal
Montgomery.
And they'd won it last year too, and they're tough. And they had these great big jumbotron screens at either end of the green, so you could watch what was going on because seating was limited. There's plenty of standing space, but seating was limited, so you couldn't always get to see them, but you could watch them up on the big screen.
Now, they must have had the different divisions competing simultaneously around the place, right? That must have been quite the noise factor.
Yeah.
Particularly if they're playing different stuff.
8.
There was 8 areas. So you got 8 bands playing.
And this is what, like a soccer field?
Oh, it's huge. It's like what they say was
20 football fields.
20 football fields. It's
Wow.
a huge green in Glasgow. It's called Glasgow Green. So you've got 8 areas where you've got a band competing. You've got 8 areas where you've got bands warming up
And 4
officially.
tuning.
And then
4 final tuning.
yeah, and then you got another area for each of the areas to kind of warm up to get warmed up. So it was, there's times when there's probably 25 bands all playing at the same time, which I can never understand how the kids can just focus on what they're doing when they hear all this other peripheral noise. But they had, what they say, 35,000 people were there?
No, 40.
40,000 people came down to watch the doings. And So Ian came over. Our cousin watched the qualifier heat, and then we had another friend, Dennis White, come over, and he watched the finals. And Dennis White is a genealogist, and he did our family tree for us.
Oh, wow.
So that's why he came over to finally meet us. He did our tree. It was 18 foot long.
How far back does it go?
1755, I think he got it back.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. He kind of got to a certain point, and there were just no more records, you know. But it was good. So we had a chance to meet him.
Yeah,
so
unless you're linking to royalty by that time, you're in tough shape.
Yeah, not us. But you know, you were talking about Robert Louis Stevenson and the smoking. One of the other issue that the Scots had, besides lung issues, was a lot of them of regular stature were hunchbacked because the houses were so short that they had to walk over stoop shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. The house my grandfather grew up in was like that because they were just so low. And where he came from, most of them were either carpet weavers or miners in the area. So it was a hard life back then. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But the kids were really excited. They practiced, I don't know, 3.5, 4 hours.
And what did your grandfather do when he came over here?
He worked in the carpet mill.
There you go.
He brought his skill with him. You know, and it was funny. One of the things that we have from my grandfather is his letters of reference that his employers had each time he moved on. They write a letter of reference, and one of them said he was a skilled craftsman, a hard worker, and sober.
And sober.
What does that mean?
He didn't drink.
Oh, good.
And that was
Or if he did, he didn't show it.
didn't show. Yeah, he could wear it well, you know, because that was always a big issue back then. Because like Ian said, there wasn't a whole lot else doing it done with work. So alcoholism was a big problem. But you know, they announced the winners, and the kids were kind of taken back for a second. Then it kind of hit them, and they went.
Yeah. The band in front of us, or more, they heard it first, and then they went crazy.
Yeah.
And
Now,
then,
let's get now. You get done with the competition. You have no idea at that point, right?
Yep.
Where you stand,
yep.
right?
5 hours they had.
I don't even know. Did you even get to listen to the other bands?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. All right. And where were you in the finals? What order did you?
We played third.
Okay, kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good. Took an hour for all the bands to get onto the field. An hour.
To get onto the field?
At the end for the mass band.
Wow.
Because he brought them on one by one.
All right. So you're out there, and then they start announcing your division. Did they do the winners first, or did they do the second place first?
It got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
All right. But they didn't do it 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No.
So you knew right off that you were number one.
Yeah.
And we had no idea who was second, third, fourth, or fifth.
Probably weren't even listening at that
We
point.
didn't care.
Actually, now, George Watson, the band who was behind us, they came in second.
Yeah. And some, it's ironic though. Somebody from their band did a video of the final heats, and I guess they sent them out to all the bands that were in the heat. And so they've got us playing our final, and then they go and they have the award ceremony where they announce it. And this guy's clever like you. You know, he's got he's got the program photographed, and they do the band announcements, and they start doing the winners, and he's got them scrolling across the bottom, first place, second place, like that. So it's pretty neat. We had taped it, but ours is nothing like this guy did. It was a real professional job, and it was nice he did it because we beat him. You know?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
His name was Neil Frazier.
Neil Frazier?
Mm-hmm.
I noticed Laura Perry was printing up. It looked like framed pictures of the kids. Were world champion. Did she do that, or was that something that?
It was done there. Somebody had a company.
Yeah.
Where you could go up. They were taking pictures of all the bands during all the competitions, and then you could go up and you would see the printouts of them, and you could pick out which ones you wanted printed for you. Right there. We got them within an hour of the competition. We got some morning pictures of them, and we got some afternoon, and they were professionally done. They're a lot better than anything that I took.
I saw at least one picture of the City of Amsterdam employee relations director. I guess he was there with his grandchildren.
Yes. Yeah, he was there, Bob Reedy.
And that picture was taken by one of his kids. Apparently he found a Scottish pub 2 seconds after getting off the plane, or something like
I'm surprised it took us that long, because there's a pub on every corner, and it's kind of like Amsterdam used to be. You know, you had more pubs than people, and we had a chance to go to some of the pubs and sample some of the local produce.
Whiskeys.
What?
Whiskey.
You sampled the whiskey, did you?
No.
Oh no. Okay.
I watched him do it.
I didn't have any whiskey. It's all
You
beer.
wish you did.
So you have to have an acquired taste for that. But yeah, he was there. You know, we had about 60 people went
From your group?
from our group. You know, parents, grandparents, siblings, friends, supporters. So it was a big. We had a big crew with us, considering how far we'd come. You know, and to go that far and win was a lot better than going that far and not winning.
Wow.
You know. And,
So what'd you do in the week in between? Did you get
Practice.
practice?
Yep.
we went to some castles.
Nah.
Yeah, you
Sure.
did. You went to Doon Castle. You
Went
went to Stirling Castle.
Sterling.
Yeah.
Now, if you're driving straight from Glasgow to Edinburgh, how long does that take, or how far is it?
Less than 45 minutes.
It's amazing. One's on one coast and one's on the other.
Yeah,
I mean, you think of Scotland as being this huge country,
And,
and it really isn't.
No.
Uh,
You know,
Nor is England.
No, England is not a big country either. Our first Sunday, well, actually, the day we played in the Worlds, as he mentioned, our cousin is a advanced scout for the Motherwell Football Club, and he had to go up to Inverness to scout the next week's team that they're going to play. And it was, might have been like 2.5 hours away, and that was way up at the.
That's way up in the north.
That's way up in the north. So it's not that big a country.
That's where the mountain people live.
The Highland folk.
The Highland folks.
Yeah. It's not that far from anything. If you just took the East Coast of the United States, that's bigger than England and Scotland combined. That's not a big place. The Glasgow's the largest city, and it's got 1.3 million, and Edinburgh's got 800,000.
No,
900,000. So there's just barely one city that's over 1 million people there, and the rest are all small places.
And 45 minutes apart. I mean, it's less than it would take from go to here to Utica.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
One was the industrial center, and the other was the intellectual center of Scotland.
And my father was stationed in Glasgow or near Glasgow during the war. Did you get up to
No.
Loch Lomond or any of that
No,
stuff?
we didn't get up to any of the locks. We went to Bridge of Allen, which is a little place outside of Stirling. We stayed in Stirling. We stayed at the
University.
yeah.
God, which one? Wallace. William Wallace.
Yeah, and we were in the dorms. There was five rooms to a flat.
So 4.
1, 2, 5. 3 in us and 2 there. That's 5.
Plus a kitchen and then small living room.
Yeah, dining room, and we ate there. And we did a lot of cooking in to save money, because the dollar isn't very strong against the pound right now.
Yeah.
You know? So if you when you bought things and you say, oh, it's only £1, put your mind at ease till you get the bill and you find out it's really $1.50 or $1.60 you're paying for something. But comparably, what you could buy for $1 here, you can buy for £1 over there. But
So it's half again as much. But
Yeah.
then they got the value-added tax and everything.
Oh,
in
you
there.
got the VAT. That's right. Right. Yeah, we went someplace, we were buying something. I said, oh, you take credit cards? She said, yes, but we'll have to charge you a VAT on top of that. I said, we'll pay cash. So it was a real nice place where we stayed. Stirling's a beautiful little town. And
Wait, you mean that they applied the VAT on top of the price when you use a credit card?
they would put that, yeah,
Wow.
value added tax. Added. Yeah.
Well, it's added at every level.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, it sounds a lot like what we're going to have here pretty soon, huh?
Well, Lord only knows. Lord only knows. Let's talk the fun stuff. We were when we were in Switzerland last year, in Zurich. We didn't even dare figure out what we were paying for stuff. It was better just to pay it and not know, because it would make you sick if you knew. I mean, seriously, we did compute that like a Burger King Whopper was like $7.50 after you got done converting. And gasoline, you really didn't want to know, because they sell it in liters.
That's
first,
right.
First you got to convert the liter to the gallon, and then the euro to the dollar. And holy moly,
Not pretty.
not pretty. Did you rent a car while you were there?
Absolutely not.
No?
No, I had a hard enough time just envisioning what they were doing on the roads there.
And the phones.
And the phone. When you're driving on the wrong side, then you have to go around the roundabouts.
Well, that's it. I told you that story, didn't I, about the roundabout?
Yeah.
You know, you get to. I arrive at a roundabout just a little south of Scotland, and I'm the only one on the highway. And I got there and I just stopped dead in my tracks, because I had to stop and figure out which way am I supposed to go? Which way am I supposed to go? And then I said, well, let's see, if I were in America, I'd be going this way, so it must be the other way. But I could easily have gone either way without hesitating.
Yeah.
And the other thing that drove me crazy was you drive. I didn't mind driving on the left-hand side of the road so much. I got used to that almost immediately. But every time I wanted to look in my rearview mirror, I looked up like this, and the mirror's over here.
And then you look at things in reverse on the wrong side of the road.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't. We went either by bus or taxi. Most of the time we're there. You know.
By the way, I wrecked cars in both of the British Isles. So.
Oh, you have?
Can I have that coffee pad again? Yes. Go. Anyway, your story.
And it was just, we would just sit there and watch. We were sitting in at an outside cafe in the Bridge of Allen. We had a band dinner on Thursday night, and we were sitting there waiting for people to come. We were sitting outside this little cafe, having a beer and a wine, and this car pulls up. The kid looked younger than him. How young can you be to drive a car in Scotland? You know? Of course, I was looking at the passenger and not the driver. It's just so
You're right. It's disorienting.
It is. You know, then you got to cross the street and look the wrong way.
Right.
You know, it just, it was hard. It was hard.
But funny to watch.
It was funny to watch. Yeah. We took a train. We took a train from Edinburgh, the night of the tattoo, up to Stirling, and the trains and the buses though are really immaculate.
Yes.
They're really clean.
Yes.
Not like some of the buses you ride here.
Disgusting.
Yeah, the buses here are. Yeah, the
We
buses were clean there. And
we trained from Leeds to Edinburgh, and it's all wide open country. Every once in a while, you come across a little village and a 12th century church in the middle of it. But there comes a spot where the train is right on the coast, and you're on this high cliff overlooking the North Sea, and it was spectacular beyond spectacular. And I'm looking around the train, nobody's even looking out the window. I'm the only one looking out the window. I said, this is one of the greatest views in the whole world. Is right out this window. They're just taking the train.
one of the things we noticed when we flew in to Glasgow, we flew in from Dublin to Glasgow in the morning, how many wind farms there are there.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, there's a big controversy there now because they're like going all in on the wind farms and they're losing their shirts on it, and it's contributing like 0.2% of the electricity, and it's costing a fortune.
Yeah, and the same is true here. Some of those big federal investments and subsidies given for the wind farms have kind of not paid off yet.
Yeah, they got rid of the subsidies in Spain and the places, and they all shut down because it costs 28 times more than it does to make power a different way. And you know, I saw a wind farm. First wind farm I saw was out west in the desert, kind of between Los Angeles and Palm Springs. Mm-hmm. And in the desert, it's kind of neat because you got, you know, it's kind of wide open, and then you got, all of a sudden you got this man-made stuff. Then I saw them down in Rhode Island, and the same stuff, but it really destroyed the landscape and the view. So I like.
Conceptually, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Practicality,
It ain't there yet. It's a long ways from it.
yeah.
I mean, if you've got the necessity, if you've got a place where you can't bring the grid in and stuff like that, it makes sense. But to use it to add to the grid, not when it costs more to maintain it than it does for what you're producing.
Yeah, and Ian says they pay a good buck to the farmers up there that have the wind farms on, at least in the land. So that was surprising when I saw that. But the Highland, the mountains and the mist was really impressive when we were there. We saw the best of the weather and the worst of the weather.
And you know what? The worst of the weather can be really neat too if you're in the Highlands or someplace like that. That's what I'm sorry we didn't have time to get up there when we were there. But then it was February. I'm not sure I want to be there in February anyway. Yeah.
One of the things that happened there, we were supposed to do another competition. We did that first competition on a Saturday, and then we were supposed to do another one on Sunday. It got canceled because they'd had about 30 days in a row of rain up there, and because it was going to be like a Fonda Fair type of thing with a midway and all the events and stuff during the week, it was just too socked.
Yeah.
But there's not a bit of brown any place on the ground. The lawns and the grass is so thick, so luxurious, lush. Yes. It's unbelievable because they get so much rain. The other thing that
Ireland was that way too, misty
Emerald
almost
Island.
every day.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned stopping in Dublin. Was it just the plane went down and came up again? Or?
Yeah, that was
That's all you saw of Ireland.
That's all we saw of Ireland. Until we get up in the plane, you look and you can see all these small subdivided
All these cliffs.
fields and everything. Yeah, it was unbelievable. The one thing though that Scotland could use that would make, I would think, many people happy is a good pizzeria.
Really?
We with on the way back from winning the Worlds, everybody's bouncing off the walls.
Partying.
We wanted to have a little party for the kids back at the
Literally, it
at
was
the
a
university.
big party.
Relative term. And so they called up a place and ordered 18 pizzas. The ones you get home delivered that are bought from the grocery store and you warm up yourself is better than those. They just don't know how to make a good pizza in Scotland. Don't have to.
Let's see. I don't believe I had pizza in Scotland, but I did have it in Ireland, and it was excellent.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Must have been the next pat.
And I remember going to a Chinese restaurant in Cashel or someplace like that in Ireland, and being served, well, of course, you're going to a Chinese restaurant. Here, what do you see? You see people from China, right?
Yeah.
Well, in Ireland, you see all these red-headed, freckle-faced, beautiful 17-year-old girls waiting on you. Yeah. You'll know what I mean in a couple of years, okay? Yeah. And it was really kind of startling. Yeah.
Before we went, I went on some websites to look to find out some places to go to eat, and the first ones they got are Thai, they got Chinese, they got all these exotic places. And then you have to go down a ways before you get the ones that are serving traditional Scottish food, which was okay because I'm not a fan of traditional Scottish food.
I think it's true in most of those countries that the natives don't eat the quote traditional food.
My wife's biggest.
I remember when at B&B we stayed at, they laughed when we asked them if they ever ate this stuff. No, the tourists all eat it.
Yeah, well, Marina was very disappointed when we went to the games the first weekend at North Berwick and then down in Glasgow that they didn't have, you couldn't get haggis. They didn't have.
It's probably
haggis.
illegal. It's probably the European Union forbids its production.
Yeah, something like that. But she was disappointed at that. But it was, you get 40,000 people listening around to pipes for 9 hours. It's pretty impressive, and they can all hear. I don't know how you guys hear when you're doing it. When you hear a mistake that somebody makes, when you get done, and the kids say, "Well, did you hear that? Did you hear that?" No, I didn't hear anything. And we're listening, and these guys are playing. How do you do that?
Focus.
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 Focus, grasshopper, focus, right?
Focus, focus.
Focus.
So how many different numbers did your band play?
4 tunes.
And did you do the same set in both halves of the competition?
Yep.
Yeah. And what were the 4 tunes?
Greenwood Side, Pipe Major Willie Ross, Piper's Cave, and Earl of Mansfield.
Now, do you guys have marching music stands or anything like that, or you do it all from your head?
Head.
Yeah.
Have to.
Gotta do it from their head.
If you don't, you get disqualified.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't be reading the music.
That's cool.
You gotta know it. Gotta know the music. You know, and it's funny.
I mean, I assume when you learn this stuff, you have music, right?
Yeah. At the beginning.
At the beginning, but then you're expected just to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you play by ear at all, or you just play reading music?
Play by ear.
Yeah. All right. So we mentioned this off camera, but the next time you come on the show, I want you to be able to do. That's all. We do that, we might get, we might be able to sneak it past the YouTube censors and be allowed in Bulgaria again.
Yeah, we haven't got that legal issue resolved.
No, I had to I had to really can using our music theme because I was getting, we got so many fans in the former Yugoslavia that when I think 3 of the nations of the former Yugoslavia banned our program because we were using the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly theme.
Yeah. Yeah.
Believe that?
That's wrong.
Not in the Ukraine though. They still show it in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our show is in Ukraine.
Yeah, it's shown all over the world.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't know that? You thought it was just here?
Yeah.
No.
it's all over the
No.
world.
It's all over the world.
We get tweets and twits and everything from all over the world about what we
Smart
do.
twits or dumb twits?
Oh, sometimes they're not very intelligent, but most of the people listening to the show are very astute.
That's
as
right.
Far as, world events and politics and music.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is. So we can do the worlds right here. We don't have to go to Scotland to do them.
I don't think Maureen would like that.
She probably wouldn't like that. Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, what do you guys do for an encore after you win the worlds, for God's sake?
The instructors say, "Do you want to get a beer?" Oh, we can't. So we'll just help you buy drinking beer for you. That isn't very nice.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do next? You guys going back to Scotland next year?
In 2 or 3 years, because band is reforming, because major key points are leaving, because they're aging out.
Have you played in Scotland before?
No.
No. But because of the age requirements in the band, once you turn 18, you have to leave. So you have a turnover of players.
All right, so you really got a whole new group, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got a visitor coming.
You
got a visitor.
All right. Okay, Mr. Stark. All right. Come on in, Johnny. You're gonna have to move the bagpipes there.
Sure thing.
All right. Okay.
Why don't you scoot over?
All right.
Mr. Stark, how are you, sir?
Good to see you. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Welcome to the new studio.
Thank you.
Vincent Stark, one of my fellow commissioners on the County Charter Commission, and we'll get to that in the second segment coming up shortly. What time? Who's got a watch on? Anybody?
It's close to 11.
No. Does anybody really know what time it is?
Does anybody really know what time it is?
11:01.
11:01. Okay.
It's almost 11.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I think we're going to do, Misha. In honor of your having won the world bagpipe competition. They do this every year, by the way.
No.
Yeah, they do. We don't go every year.
Yeah, but so you're going to be the champions for the whole next year.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
All right. Can you give us another number, you think?
Sure.
All right. Let me get up here and adjust my camera.
See, and the other good thing about winning the Worlds is that now, as a soloist, he can raise his fees, and as a band, we can charge more for the parades that we participate in,
that.
bring in more revenue to keep the band going.
I like that.
Okay, hit it. Wait a minute, what are you playing?
We're kind of competition set that we play at the World. Greenwood side, Pipe Major Willie Ross, Piper's Cave, and Earls of Mansfield.
Okay. Bravo, bravo.
I think I've actually heard that one before, believe it or not. No, it's true. My first year at law school, during contracts law class, I sat all the way in the back of contracts law, right near the open window.
Is that Notre Dame?
Yeah, Notre Dame, yeah. And we had contracts on Friday at 4 o'clock, so it didn't finish until after 5. You can imagine what 5 o'clock on a Friday at Notre Dame in the fall is like. And they were doing work on the law school, so the marching band couldn't go through its normal route, so it was always marching past our window during the middle of contract. And then another time there was a bagpiper just standing right outside my window, bagpiping, I believe, that song. So if you need a contract drafted, don't go to me, because I have no idea. I missed all the good stuff, which was always on Friday. But that was very good. And
Thank
so
you.
you won a world championship, huh?
Yep.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
quite
you.
an accomplishment. How old are you?
12.
Okay. All right.
Where
so
can,
you're
where,
making
where
us
can
all
you go
look
from
bad.
there? Where can you go from there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Must feel like poor Neil Armstrong, you know. They asked him when he came back how he felt. He says, how do you think I feel? He says, I'm 33 years old, and I know for certainty that in my entire life I am never going to have a job more interesting than the one I just finished.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
But anyway, you're just starting, kid.
Yeah.
So what happens when you age out of the juvenile competition? You gonna keep it up and
Yeah.
join one of the bigger groups?
I'm probably going to go to college in SFU. There's
What's
really,
SFU?
Simon Fraser University. And then they have...
Wait a minute, Simon Fraser, that was some Scottish guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Okay, go
where,
ahead.
but the college is out in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they have really good grade 1 band, so it would be cool to join their band.
Wow. Well, don't forget to get an education while you're at it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, we're gonna close up this segment, but move your bagpipe out of the way so they can see you on camera. Now, this does go out all over the world. So, is there anything you'd like to say to your relatives in the Ukraine or other parts of the former Soviet Union? You can say it in Russian if you want. You want to say hello to your relatives?
Hello, and if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Anything I tell you.
Say it in Russian so we understand it.
I don't know that much Russian.
No, you do too. Now, don't tell me. You're bilingual. I know you're bilingual. You can't fool me. I mean, we have had the FBI here asking about you.
I speak some Russian, but not that exact sentence.
It's a sentence is, do you know where the bathroom is?
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. And where's
Jamie
the
can
vodka?
say that in about 6 languages. Yeah.
And where's the vodka?
All right.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to close up this segment, and we'll be back shortly with more of the show with no name.